Well, to the dulcet tones of the next door neighbour's lawnmower on his what's become a daily lawn mowing exercise, we are now packed and ready to go for the 2022 Armchair Festival at Mount Edgecumbe, Plymouth. And we're dragging along the boss lady. You looking forward to it? I am, yeah. We've got kayaking booked. We might do some coast steering, as they say, coast steering. There's even a massage available and various other bits and bobs on this adventure weekend. So we're heading off, about 300 miles to go. We're heading across the middle of Dartmoor, and we're loaded heavier than we ever should be or have been before, but we've got 4 days static, so we thought we'd take a bit of luxury with us and a few extra bits and bobs. So yes, we're ready to go, and let's just hope Brian can handle it. We're all set to head off to the Armchair Festival. Ooh. Heavily loaded, not really very clever, but we want to take some stuff. I now get that on there. Route is set via Dartmoor. Vents on the bike, on the jacket I should say, are all open, and that's because A, it's a little bit warmer, but also I've got a jacket underneath, windproof jacket, so that I can wear that and not ruin my motorcycle jacket. I'm a little bit warm because I've got underneath my motorcycle jacket, I've got a windproof regatta jacket, purely and simply because I want to be able to stay warm and dry down there without trashing my motorcycle jacket next to the campfire or something like that. However, that means I'm bloody warm now, and I'm glad I've got my vents open to get some heat in, heat out. So unfortunately it's going to be motorway for most of the way. The good old M42 followed by the M5, and then we'll peel off at Exeter and head across Dartmoor. It's not a bad day actually. It's grey, so we haven't got sun in our eyes, and the temperature is perfect, and there's no forecast of rain that I can see. Oh look, fellow Arctic. Right, let's get to the motorway and flick the cruise control on and sit back and do a couple of hours. So for the first of our 2 treats today, we have the M42. We're joining just north of the NEC, and we will come to the end of it and join the second treat of the day, which is the M5. Now I could be really boring and make a full video of this, but no, I won't. This is just like an introduction, like a taster. Once you've got the feeling for this, we'll cut off and join the M5. And welcome back. Well, that was probably the most uneventful ride down the M42 I've ever had. Left that a bit late. Smooth. Lots of lorries, lots of cars, but traffic all smoothly travelling along, and we are now on the M5, and we've got quite a chunk of this to go, right down to Exeter. So this is where I really do appreciate the addition of the cruise control on this, and the only thing now I need is footrests out the front and a headrest, and I can sit back like I'm in an armchair on my way to the Armchair Festival. But yeah, all looking good. Warming up, 16 and a half degrees I think it is now. It was 15 when we set off, so it's going to be a good day. Well, we're now south of Bristol, We're at about 20 degrees, which is very, very nice. Traffic's still reasonably heavy, but it hasn't slowed at all on the way down, which has been good. And everything's looking good to get there about 3 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to keep going and get off the motorway, and then we'll have a cup of coffee somewhere around Exeter. We are now at junction 31, peeling off onto the A30 and heading out into off through the rest of Devon to Cornwall. But the bike has all of 16 miles worth of fuel left, and I want a cup of coffee, so we will be stopping fairly soon. Bye bye M5 until Sunday. Right, we prefer without doubt to use local coffee shops and that sort of thing, but a Costa and a fuel station would do just fine at the moment, and so long as it's within 15 miles. Oh, it's not looking good, I can't see one. Cornwall National Park detour. Where's the detour? Maybe it means up here into the village. Please, 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 please have fuel. It's got to be up here. Oh, it's not looking good. Oh, maybe. How do? Is it self-serve, is it? Cheers, mate. Oh, what a relief. I really thought we were in shit here.
To the A30.
I don't mind leaving it down to 20 and 30 miles, but that last 7 miles, as it says on there, and of course you start sucking rubbish through into the bike if you leave it too low. Oh, relief. One fuel tank in and out of our account, another 54 quid. Gosh, I'm never going to be able to retire with the amount of money we're spending on fuel just lately, but hey ho. If I can get my leg back over it. Can you grab your things that way, Tar? Ugh. What's that?
You're struggling, he's saying you're struggling to get your leg across.
Sorry, I can't hear thee.
You're struggling to get your leg across, he said.
Always. At least I win with the bike. Right, up here he says, and right. Top of the village, turn right, near the post office is what we're looking for. Couldn't even tell you what the village name is at the moment. The Walled Garden Tea Room, I think that's a clue.
What's the menu?
Yeah, it's probably going to be a coffee and a cake now. I've seen your cakes. It was just going to be a coffee, but
there we go. We'll pop out and tell you all the cakes.
right, okay,
We got lots.
Cheers, Top. Excellent range of cakes, right there. Hello.
Hi.
So, did Mrs. P enjoy her cream tea?
Yeah.
Was it big enough for you, madam?
Too big.
I even said that to the lady. She asked, did I enjoy it? I said, yeah, but we genuinely would have had one scone each if we had known they're going to come out that big.
Yeah.
Really nice, really tasty. So it's called the Wall Tea Room Garden in Dunsford, if anybody's round and about. So, anybody crossing Dartmoor from the beginning, off the M5.
No picture on your thing.
And short fuel, then both fuel, coffee and stamps can all be acquired in Dunsford. Just say thank you to the guy here. Right, off we go across Dartmoor. Oh man, I feel so full after those scones. Always my luck just to get stuck behind a car that wants to go a little bit slower than I do. But maybe the roadworks will separate us if there's some lights. He could have let me go, let's be honest. That'll do nicely, sir. Thank you very much. Eventually, when we get high enough, of course, it will open out onto the moor itself. And although it's not a massive area compared to many other places in the world, it is amazing how remote you can be on Dartmoor. Particularly if you get off one of the quiet B roads somewhere, you can get yourself in a position where you don't see anybody for a very long time. And there's some great walking to be had. And in my case, some great childhood memories, because we always used to cross over the top of Dartmoor on the way to our annual holiday in Loo in Cornwall. And there was a couple of places Mum and Dad used to stop with us, and could let off a bit of steam. And if I come across one of those today, which I remember vividly, surrounded by rocks in a circle where they used to shelter the sheep occasionally, if I come across one of those, I will stop for a moment and take a photograph. Morton Hampstead is the little town we're in now. One of the places that you used to be able to fuel up, but apparently, according to the guy who missed that one, didn't I? According to the guy who we were just with, no petrol station here anymore, and in fact he reckons there's probably no fuel stops across the whole of Dartmoor. So unlike in the past where you could pull up to a little local town filling station, not a chance anymore. So fill up before you get on, and fill up when you get off. So up onto Dartmoor, a beautiful area of the country where the speed limit on this road has been restricted to 40, and that's, I would imagine, primarily because of wildlife. You do have Dartmoor ponies who happily wander around, jump out in front of you and go high. You have the obvious sheep, and it's not an area you particularly want to race across anyway. You want to look at the views, smell the atmosphere, feel the temperature drop as it is now. Basically just enjoy being out on a bit of moorland. I was about to say here's some Dartmoor ponies, but these Dartmoor ponies have dressed themselves up in cow suits. These are Dartmoor ponies, V. Very special looking pony. Oh my word. Are they actually being shepherded along then? Seems a little bit dangerous, doesn't it? Oh, I appreciate that, but you'd think they'd send somebody top of the hill to put their hazards on. Hello sheep, we're not interested in you. Oh, there's a Welsh collie coming up. Loving every minute of it. Well, 2 sheep have gone across and run away, so I don't quite... Yeah. Hello doggy. Cheers. Cows and Dartmoor ponies and sheep and the sea in the direction, well, yeah, in the direction we're heading in, and an absolutely stunning view. So now we cross the river, which I'd forgotten all about, but I do know that it's a toll bridge. It's whether or not we get charged as a motorcycle, because I ain't not got my card ready as I normally would have. One way to find out. Over the Tamar. Fairly wide expanse of water, and we are about to leave Devon and enter Cornwall. Maybe you only pay when you're leaving Cornwall then. Ah, they'll catch us at the other end of this tunnel. Oh, I know what they're going to do. Well, for all the world, it's looking like there's no toll heading this way. Nope, traffic speeding up, back to 60 mile an hour. Happy days. Well, we're in the town of Millbrook, and I'm fighting my way through. If I don't stop, then they'll let me through. We'd ideally like to have picked up a pint of milk before we got there, but there ain't going to be a shop now, that's for sure. No, there ain't no milk for Martin and Bearer. It's regularly what we do. We arrive on a site, we want a cup of tea, and we can't make one because we've got everything. Oh, good view, but the milk. First time I've been to this side, so I've not seen Plymouth from this view. Well, that looks like one entrance to the country park, but there's no sign of the festival being mentioned. With 1.4 miles to go, I've actually not seen any signs. Main entrance down here, you can only hope. Well, we just passed a queue of parked cars there. Unfortunately, that was by the look of it, a motorcyclist who seems to have crashed in the gate of a farmer's field. I hope he's alright. They've got him wrapped up in a foil blanket. There seems to be enough help, so I'm not going to join the pile of people standing there. second or third one there and I've come across this year, and we have stopped before, but you end up where 20 people all stand saying, can I help, can I help, when really once you've got 2 or 3 capable people there, it's to the benefit of the casualty not to have too many people around. Look, there's the port, right. Well, we're here. The one and only sign. They've not gone too mad with the signage. Mount Edgecumbe Country Park, opposite side of the harbour to Plymouth and all the Navy boats. Never been here before. And now getting a feeding for it. The camping apparently is going to be on the flat. It wasn't in previous years, from what I understand. Lots of people in the campers. Rather good view down there. Hello.
How are you?
Very well, you?
Good, yeah, good, thanks.
You're making it look cold, you are. Go.
Yeah, I'm a little bit cold, yeah. If you can just touch back somewhere here to get your wristbands.
Yeah.
And then you'll be going into the campsite here and you can put your tent with your bike.
Okie dokie.
Okay, lovely.
I'm just looking at the angle of it. It said it's going to be flat pitches. It's not quite flat, is it?
Well, I think flatter than last year because it's the flattest bits of ground that... Yeah, good luck finding a flat one.
We have arrived, darling.
We didn't get the milk.
And we didn't what, sorry?
Didn't get any milk.
Hello. Now I think wearing sunglasses in this grey is optimistic at best.
I'm tempting fate, aren't I? I've actually
We've
lost
arrived
my
at the gate and the woman's going, I'm cold, and you're sitting there with sunglasses on.
I've lost my glasses, so these are the only ones I It was. I
let you
watched
off.
the film last night and I came back up like, oh, it's so light. So if you see any glasses, please let me know.
You lost them here, have you?
Yeah, I don't know where I put them. I had them, not yesterday, the day before. I lost them yesterday too. Never mind. Yeah.
Mrs. P. You okay if we pitch up here, mate?
Yeah, of course. It don't look too rowdy.
I didn't know if this was your little bit of garden or whatever.
I was going to pick it, fence it, you know, that sort of thing.
I was trying to find a reasonably flat, and this isn't, but it's better than most
Better
of them.
than oak, yeah.
That's what we did.
Yeah. Cheers, Tom.
No, I'd just pitch up here. It's a nice view.
Okay.
Yeah. If we're facing that way.
Any problems? She's made the decision.
Yeah.
This one here.
Yeah.
She's made the decision. Look on the camera and say, I'm making the decision.
Yeah, but look,
I
when
said as we
you
drove
open
in the field,
doors-
Martin, you make the decision, Mark, and I've just semi-made a decision and you've overtaken it, have you? Yeah? Okay. So that's the kitchen. We're all set up. There's Mrs. Potts. Looks like she's knitting, but she's actually putting the wristbands on to prove that we paid. This is the setup that we have. There's my wardrobe area, for want of a better description. We have two very comfy beds, air beds on top of camp beds. Exceptionally comfortable. Close the bedroom off so no insects get in. And then this is our main living area. We have windows, of course. We do have windows. I'll leave them closed for a minute. But then we have this as a view. Look at that. Now you cannot complain at that. That is ours for the next 4 days. We're in Mount Edgecumbe. There you go. Nobody in front of us. We're in Mount Edgecumbe Country Park. And we're going to enjoy the festival, enjoy meeting people, and get out on a couple of rides, and then hopefully by the end of the weekend there'll have been no rain, we'll be perfectly chilled. Well, it's all of 5 minutes since we started to pack up to come down here, as you can see by my wife's attire. The weather's changed already. It's gone a bit murky, but we can live with that. And we're now going down into main area. Have a quick look round. AF22 stands for Armchair Adventure Festival 2022. Here's all the main thing kicks off tomorrow, but this will just show you the layout. A few food stalls over there, and the entertainment tent there with a few talks on tomorrow. Here's the sidecar scooter outfit that the two guys went around the world on. Took them about 2 years, 35,000 miles, that's what they travelled in. Good little setup that is. That's seen some miles, proper adventure stuff. And then we've got the view on down to the beach. Apparently, it's down there somewhere.
Not very dark.
No, I'll have to point again to some, please.
Where's the lucky saint jumping into the draft?
Vera's found her happy place. She's at the bar.
But it turned out to be the hardest thing I'd ever do. You know, self-management is a tricky thing. And I threw myself right in. I got pretty down within the first couple of months.
Let's have a look outside the tent on this quiet festival field. Perfect position. Right, so I'll look at the world outside. Morning. Well, it's 8 o'clock and I'm still here at the Armchair Adventure Festival 2022, and I would be because it's the beginning of day one really. We got here on Thursday, it's now Friday morning, festival really gets underway. And while my wife sleeps at 8 o'clock in the morning, this is the view that I have, or we have. Absolutely stunning, look at that. There's Plymouth on the right there. A couple of navy boats, or navy ships, navy vessels even, as they would probably call them, in the harbour. Isn't that just a fantastic view? Day one of the Armchair Adventure Festival. How's Mrs. Potts feeling, sitting in the sun, in front?
Very nice, thank you.
And where's breakfast, love? Where's breakfast?
Might be down there.
There doesn't appear to be any breakfast there.
No.
There's no breakfast. What are we going to do?
Starve. We'll live. We'll live.
Hold on, just need to get that all in.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a walk down the hill, down to towards the harbour, and as you can see there's a couple of navy ships out there, sounds like one's being worked on, and we've found the most idyllic little cottage, which from the campsite you can't even see. So just down here must be a great place to live. They've got a view over the bay, and perfect. You can see in the background the bridge, and then the boss lady's with me. Is she in shot? Yes, she's in shot.
Yeah.
She's up now, but it is 11:30, so it's taken a while to get her moving. And we're now going to have a little bit of a walk along the bottom of the site. In fact, just to give you our bearings, you can't see the site back there now, look. Can't see it at all. These are people with their camper vans, but the main area and the festival area is just literally at the top there, but because of the slant. So it's really quite peaceful. And we're going to take a little bit of a wander along, are we not? Yeah. And have a look round, different view of Plymouth, have a look at the ferry, and work out whether or not tomorrow, whether or not we're going to join the people that went down to the bay this morning at 8 o'clock for a wild water swim. We've brought our gear. Not 100% convinced we're going to do it yet, but we'll see how cold the water looks when we've checked it out. Well, we're off to get some supplies. We arrived with diddly squat last night, and the first thing we did is go around to our new neighbours and borrow some milk, and they were very nice about it. But we can't keep doing that, so now we're heading to the local shop, which we believe is only a few minutes up the road. And then we're back this afternoon. This morning we've listened to a couple of talks, one by a chap called Teapot One, or that's his handle, and very good chat, a bit rushed for him and for us because they've got a bit of a time schedule going on. I would go and listen to him again and get some of the gaps filled in. And then the guy before that, Gary, and I'm going to have to find out his surname, a phenomenally interesting chap who has done bomb disposal for all of his life, or most of his life, all over the world, including being responsible for clearing 14,000 landmines in the Falklands and various other places. Anyway, he is a very interesting man to listen to. So they were the two that we picked this morning, and then this afternoon we're coming back for Elspeth Beard, who I've partly heard before, but Vera's read the book. I halfway got through the book, and like all books that I read, they travel more with me than actually get read. But we'd very much like to listen to her this afternoon, so we're going to have a bit of a wander around, have a look at the sea, get some shopping, and wander back. Shopping done? Is that all we've got?
Yeah.
Beer? Lemonade?
Yeah.
Crikey, that's appalling. Anyway,
Yeah.
we'd like a cup of tea in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
We're now going into the...
Oh, that looks
What we're going into? Edgecumbe's Honey Room Cafe and Garden. Oh no, we're going in somewhere else now. Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
This looks good. Oh, it's another little find, isn't it?
It is. Beautiful place.
Very nice, and we'll pick the sunniest, in fact the only table with sun in the garden. Now I wasn't asking for cake, but she says come and look at the cakes, so here we go.
That's one of those two. Yeah, that's it. You sold out your cake. No, chocolate cake. Oh, there you go.
Flapjack, brownies, and pistachio and raspberry.
Flapjack for me, please.
And the pistachio and raspberry. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
But the most important thing here, the cake. Bit of flapjack. Well, we now find that the lady here does breakfasts from 9 o'clock. From 9 o'clock in the morning, breakfast is what she does here at the cafe. But she's not happy chappy. She's not what you'd call smiley jolly. So we might try it, we might not. But if she'd have smiled when I suggested that I might put her name out and the details around the site, if she'd have been happy about that, we'd be more keen. But she just raised her eyes at me. Very puzzling response when you're trying to drum up business for a small local business.
I did just ask her, I said, have you a busy summer? And she went, yes. Do you want cold milk with that?
And there's another demonstration of how she's not what you would call the smiliest, cheeriest cafe owner going. But she might have had a bad day, so we'll try the cake, we'll try the latte, and report back. Time to report back already. Wow, the flapjack is very, very nice. What do you have, love?
Pistachio and raspberry.
Pistachio and raspberry cake. Also very, very nice. The latte looks lovely, as does the Americano. But was it served with a smile? No. We said thank you, we got a slight grunt, and then she walked back in the cafe and promptly locked the door. So either she's closing, or she doesn't like us, or she's just not a happy cafe owner. Anyway, I'll try the latte and I'll report back after that as well. What a strange experience. Well, that's it. Latte, lovely. Cake, lovely. Americano, apparently very nice. Service with a smile. Well, service yes, smile, just forget it. But we'd still recommend it. Nice little coffee shop in the middle of Millbrook. And here is Millbrook High Street. You were lucky there to get 2 cars past, because other than that we've seen nothing. Nice little village, not far from Edgecumbe, Mount Edgecumbe Country Park, and a nice little coffee shop should you want one. Right, back to the bike and a ride of the area. Okay, we are now filled up with our supplies. Not everything we wanted, and the main thing we wanted that we haven't got is a barbecue. Because the guy inside the shop said that they'd been banned from selling them, and that's because there was a big fire at Edgecumbe Park a few weeks ago, and that makes sense. So we looked on the website, couldn't find out whether they were allowed them or not, so we've assumed that he's right and left it. So we bought some stuff for cheese sandwich this afternoon, and we will treat ourselves to another Taiwanese meal or similar this evening. I've got a feeling we're going to get blocked in here, but we're okay because we're small. Try again, it says. Not going to get a smile from that lady. So very quickly we are heading ourselves into Cawsand, C-A-W-S-A-N-D, and Kingsland. Looked a little further away on the map, so it ain't going to take long. It seems that there's a school at the top of the hill serving about 3 villages. There's been lots of mummies and daddies walking up and down the road, which is good to see. And within 2 minutes by motorbike we are now in the town of Kingsland. Bit of a suntan taking place there. Nice narrow streets. Thank you. Narrow streets for which they appear just to stop in the middle of the road. Wow, how nice. And I never knew it existed. What a lovely little village. How nice is this, V? Okay. All right, mate. Cheers, thank you. I like this. Must be rush hour. Oh yeah. It's all right. Thank you. Unsuitable for buses and coaches, neither of which are we. It sounds like it'll be fun. Oh, got something in my bloody eye. Oh, somebody's got a bit of money. One thing that annoys me about Google is I have to continually tell it I want to continue. I would not have set the route had I not intended travelling on it, so why does it need to keep asking me if I want to carry on? Wow! It's a lovely coastline, isn't it? Scotland's my place, without doubt. Scotland is the place I'd like to have been born and brought up and live on the coast, etc, etc. However, you can't really beat the Cornish coastline in terms of semi-rugged feel, but also much better weather most of the year. It just has something about it. See the hut to the left there?
Yeah, looks like lifeguard. Coast
Guard or something. In fact, that might be them. This has gone pear-shaped again, so just bear with. Right, I've said it to take us back now, Abby.
Yeah, right, you did the life.
Yeah. Isn't this beautiful?
Gorgeous.
Wow, what's that place? What on earth is that? This is where you hope your battery hasn't run out. Tregantle Fort and Ranges, there you go. It's a military base of some sort. "15 minutes back, 40 minutes to the presentation we want to see, so probably about 20 minutes to knock up a cheese salad sandwich and wander down, and we'll carry on our coastal journey, not tomorrow, we've got quite a bit on, but on Sunday, when the weather is forecast to be brilliant. We're taking an extra day because we're going to stay till Monday. Cheers, mate, top. And we are home. And back to our little home on the hill. action superheroes heading off to go kayaking across the Plymouth Sound. Ta-da! So we're nearly down at the lake, not just me, her as well,
Estuary.
and there we go, estuary, I beg your pardon. Our welcoming committee is somewhere amongst this lot, and I think we're heading out around the island, but we'll see in a minute. Are you excited?
Yeah,
Is that the best you can come up with?
yeah,
Are you
'Cause
really
you-
excited?
yeah.
Trying to catch wherever your eyes are. Now look at me in the eyes, you see? Okay, you excited? She's definitely not Holly Willoughby when it comes to presenting, but we'll get her there. And cut and action, go. As I say, she's not Holly Willoughby. So where am I? Or where were we, should I say? Well, where we now are is on two cheap plastic bobbing around kayaks out on Plymouth Sound. Now there's an island just to my left, it's called Drake's Island, and my intention is that we paddle out there. Straighten the camera up a little bit. My intention was that we paddle out there, but it soon became apparent that it's quite restricted where you can go, and she's also very keen on you've got an hour to get back, and as we haven't got a watch and we're relying on the sun, we can't go too far anyway. But where I'm heading now is out towards a radio mast which is just on the cliff edge by the corner, and where the current can be seen to pick up and where we were warned about. So we don't go that far, but it will allow me to see the Garrison Island that's out there in the middle of the channel. It's the 24th September 2022, and I'm not blaming it on global warming, but it's just lovely and warm, and we're even going to go for a swim afterwards. Unbelievable for September. I suppose that's part of being on the south coast, isn't it? Nice warm peninsula. You right? It's like the man's waving. The Sea Cruises boat that's followed by a rescue boat. That's a bit worrying. See, the Coast Guard's gone right in between us and the... Sorry? Yeah, probably feels. I'm going to go in towards the rocks here. What a nice little bay. See the screen?
Yeah.
Collision. Make it look spectacular, the impact. It's lovely clear water, isn't it? Amazingly clear water, and it's not cold, so we will be going for a swim when we get back. We're in the shade here, but it's really nice. It's just peaceful to get away. You feel like an adventure, and yet literally just over there, Plymouth, and all the urban sprawl that you get, and yet here you feel like you're on a desert island. Anyway, time to move on. And in comes my swimming partner. Here she comes. Hey! Let's see if we can get out more gracefully than I just managed. You promised me you'd come swimming with me, didn't you?
I didn't.
You promised me, didn't you? But you are coming swimming,
No,
aren't you?
if you get that out of my face.
You'll say yes.
No. But I won't speak to you at all.
She's going swimming. She's going swimming. It's not that cold, is it? This is like dust. It's lovely. That's my testicle. He's just taken. That's what cold testicles look like. Oh, you see, she's a little hero when she gets going. Be brave, Mark. Be brave. Here we go. Actually, it's nice. So we've just walked down from Edgecumbe House, working off my phone at the moment, and it looked a pretty plain and uninteresting place until we came around the corner and it looked quite spectacular. Bizarrely I forgot to take any video, but we've just gone across the front garden and down the hill, and as you can see behind me, it's stunning. Look at that, absolutely gorgeous. In fact, a perfect place for barbecue, but apparently we're not allowed to have them at the moment since the troubles they had in the summer. But an absolutely wonderful location. In the distance there, right towards the sea, there's a small island, or it may be a bit of land sticking out, so I will check when I get back with a map. And then right in the middle there, we have another little island. So I need to look and find out if that's got a name on, but it certainly has got a building on it. So maybe somebody still lives there. It also is possibly something to do with the military. And as we move on, we've got that significant military looking building on the edge there. So I'll have to do a bit of reading up and find out what they are. And we're going to have a walk around the corner now, because I believe the pedestrian ferry is around there, which takes you from here over to Plymouth and back, which we may well do in the next couple of days, and we're certainly going kayaking tomorrow from the same sort of location. So looking forward to that. Anyway, onwards we go.
But this, if you want to venture in electric,
Sorry, Peter, but I had a laser for 27 years. I hate laser. Yeah. I do too.
They like the big
in the Navy at the time. I wanted something that I wasn't getting counting somebody else, and they weren't counting. Single-handed.
it was trying to get the spot.
Sorry. I was at the other lad's dealing with him. I just realised he was sat next to me.
I'll say it's better. First day I
That's alright. Just fascinates me. Never seen a dog so interested in fire.
I know. They've actually do that.
Neighbours are up to, and if we come in here now through the living room into the bedroom, it's pitch black, but if we use this torch we can look round the bedroom, and there's my sleeping bag ready to go. But Mrs. Potts, well, she's under there somewhere. She is. She's under there. There are some fingers. She's trying to sleep with the neighbours going full blast. You alright in there, lovely? You alright? Can we see your face? Let's have a look. Hey, she's loving every second of this. Anyway, it's good night, darling, and I'll see you in the morning.
Night night.
Well, that's it. The camp is over, the festival. We're now heading off to Loo, which is an old childhood haunt of mine. One of the reasons for going, and two, it's just such a lovely place. And going from there to Polperro, we are being followed by another bike, another BMW, but an 800, a couple called Francesca and Martin, and that's because they want to see a little bit of the coast, and by coincidence they live somewhere near us as well, back in Coventry. So, or back in Nether Whittaker. They live in Sutton Coldfield. They've recently moved from Germany. He works here, she's looking for work, so there's their little history. And so they're just looking for a bit of fun today, to have a ride out through the countryside, see the sea, as we will do in a minute. But it has been absolutely fantastic. Loved every second of it. And even though bands and music and that sort of thing are not normally me, it's been really, really good. Well, we are currently about half an hour away from the festival, riding along some beautiful B roads, hugging the coast as best we can, and Cornwall just never lets you down. You have got the high hedges to contend with, which sometimes means you see very little, but when there's a gap or a hill or a bend, it always provides you with a beautiful view. And on these coast roads, for those who haven't done much riding or driving around the coast, you've got the real contrast between the sea as it is today, which is nice and calm and blue, and the lovely green countryside. And then even in the bad weather, you'll come round and it's just mesmerising. The wind whipping up the sea and hitting against the rocks. It's just a stunning coastline. So we're north of Loo at the moment by probably 20 miles, and we're just going to follow, as I say, as best we can along the coast. There'll be a bit of A road thrown in, but the B roads by far and away are the best way to travel. Not necessarily as smooth if you're in a car, it has to be said, because you'll constantly stop, particularly in the summer, for other vehicles coming the other way, but on the bikes it's quite flexible. And Francesca and Martin are behind and following us to our breakfast stop. So it's the first mini convoy I've had in quite a while. Thank you. It's a better mowed lawn than at home, look at it. Thank you. Oh, it's nice to see a little less lawn in the middle of the road. Always makes it awkward, particularly when you've got your boxes on, because you can't get out far enough sometimes from the bushes. And the bit of stuff on the side, a little bit slippy at times, but hey ho. Part of the adventure. So we're now coming down into Loo, and on the right hand side, of no interest to anybody but me, just down this dip a bit, they might even see the gate now, is a place we used to stay as a kid. Some of the happiest holidays that Mum and Dad brought us on, and we used to come up the path to the gate directly behind the house, and it would stop up here somewhere. And you'd feel so excited to be away from Mum and Dad, but also know you only had to run back down the stairs and you were there. So this is East Loo that we're coming into, and then across the bridge is West Loo. The house, in fact, in question was just here. Oh my word, it was just here somewhere. No gate now. This is a bit busier than I expected. Wakey wakey, thank you. Oh, lots of bikes. We're stopping here, and then we're going to walk down to find a cafe on the front. Wasn't sure if we were still recording, but we are, and we've now pulled up in Loo. It's chock-a-block, so we've got permission to come and park next to the cycle racks. He's quite happy with us doing that for an hour or so, and then we'll take a walk from here, or ride from here down to Polperro, and Martin's just gone off to get fuel to save us stopping when we leave, so all to the good.
Can't see the eye then.
Okay, so that's Loo 22 done in about an hour and a half with a very nice pulled pork dinner. Had lunch with our new friends Martin and Francesca, and we're now heading to Polperro for a coffee to finish our little trip off and heading home. They've headed home via a quick view of St George's Island, and for no other reason than memories of the past, I'm popping via Talon Bay. If you've never been there, there's very little there, and that's what I like about it. Used to come as a child, play on the rocks, paddle in the sea, go rock crawling with Dad and Mum. More famously known, if you want to call it that these days, as Judy Finnegan and Richard I'm a Bore Madeley live there. Don't know exactly where. All I know is I love the bay. So this is the road down to Talon Bay. As I say, there's Talon Church and the bay. There is a little cafe in the bay, sometimes open, sometimes not. But as a childhood memory, coming down this road with Dad, no doubt driving perfectly within the law, the limits and all the rest of it, but as a kid in the back of the car it was quite exciting. Is there something coming around the bend? He'd honk and he'd brake and he'd honk. Happy days. I think there was a few. Oh, Jimmy's. for my mum. But just time spent at Talon Bay, doing nothing, costing nothing, was heaven. The one thing when you get to the bay, which has always been the case, although it may have changed, highly unlikely, but it's certainly at the first bit, the car park is probably half a dozen cars big, and it used to be a real crap drop off. So on a bike I dare say I could drop in, but it would be an effort to turn the way to this round. This is a caravan site on the left. It still is, by the look of it. So I won't be parking in it, but there's a little stream running into the sea just by it, and that's where I used to play with my little boats, sailing them down to the sea. Now there is, or was, part of an old ship on here. That's the car park I'm on about. I'm not even going to bother trying. There's an old remains of a ship out there, V. Yeah. On the rocks. I think I've probably taken to a bit of a boiler. In fact, follow the coast, the rocks. Yeah. Then it goes out on the peninsula. Yeah. Come back in, and it curves into a little dip. Yeah. And then if you follow that along at the next rise, you can see the boiler and 2 metal hoops on it.
Oh, I think I can see it. Yeah.
If you see see the canoeists, yeah, and you come in, there's a little rock on its own, the tide's splashing around it, yeah, and then it's just gone under the sea, and then come this bit, next bit down, so directly in line with the first canoeist now. Canoeist, yeah, rock, and then the shape of the boiler. Oh. See it?
Yeah, I wouldn't make it out as that, to be fair. Here's the thing. Can you hear me? Yeah. Car parking is £6 for a motorbike. The car parking is £6 for a motorbike. I've just seen it. So, no, exactly. So what I'm thinking is, because we're not going to spend long there, I'll make a suggestion. Just have another coffee. Fancy if I go back via Talon Bay, just having one down there? Yeah. And I'll turn into that cafe we did go look at. Okay. See if it's open. You sure? Yeah. Okay. So, for the benefit of the tape, as they say in all the best police programmes, that is and was Polperro. I'm parking there. Simple as that. Just going what will be half an hour. On the corner we did see a field full of film crew vehicles, so ignoring the cost of the car parking at Polperro, I would guess that the reason they had the road blocked off by a man, a high vis and a cone, a whole cone, is that they're filming down in Polperro. So much as I'd love to go and have a look at that, I'm not paying £6 for the privilege of standing there for 10 minutes. This will work out better. I just love this place. Thank you. And here we are, the Talon Bay Cafe. We're the best seat in the house. Smile for the camera. Perfect table, Vera. Talon Bay done. Polperro not really done. Oh gosh, I got a view of the house that I'm just going to look at. The old holiday home that we used to regularly visit as Kiddie Winks has been knocked down. Oh, and it looks like it might still be a gap actually. Oh, I was curious just to find out what's been built on that site, but potentially it's still a building site, well, still a demolition site. Oh, the water's in. We could go crabbing. Go home tomorrow. I could always ask, but I know what the answer will be. Wow. Done quite a nice job, haven't they? That's Mrs. Pierce's. So that was the lady that owned the house, and then the one we used to stay in was a double one like that, and it was there. So it's still, and because it was all owned by the one person, I guess maybe they're doing something with it later.
Yeah, perhaps when they finish this and sold it on.
Veronica Flats, yeah, we used to come up there as kids. This just, honestly, this just takes me back to a fantastic time. Yeah. Wow. I said, wow, the train track is just below us here. Used to hear the train chugging into Loo. When we were at the bed and breakfast, of no interest to anybody but me, this. But the reason I went wow is, as children, we used to look out the window of our holiday home, and opposite was the fields on the hill. And I've just glanced over now, and they are completely covered with trees. So in that 50 years, woodland has literally grown from nothing to cover that, well, virtually the whole of the hillside. Good old nature. So we're now heading to the Tamar Bridge, which will be the end virtually of Cornwall, off up into Devon and across Dartmoor. And then we've actually added a little bit, which takes us, I think it's towards Crediton in that direction, and that's because I want to spend less time on the motorway, and there's no great rush, so we're going to go across country a little bit, but there on after it'll be M5, M42. Now, we didn't pay coming in to Cornwall, and from what I understand, we don't pay going out of Cornwall. Interestingly enough, the sat-nav was going to take me a different way. I wonder why that is. Anyway, we're in the tunnel now. I haven't got a lot of choice. That was slightly weird. It would have brought us back to this junction anyway. So yeah, we're not going to pay a toll. According to my fellow motorcyclists at the festival, it's free for us bikers. Motorcycles aren't mentioned on the signs at all, so we can assume that they are right. Got a car hanging on our shoulder here. And here we go, Mr. Brunel producing that bridge in 1859, it would appear, or designing it, building it, whatever. Gosh, look at the size of the solar farm fields over there. And that's where we were, over there. Oh right, yeah, okay, got it. So Burr's just spotted where the tents were. I've got to aim for the shortest queue because I ain't going to pay. No entry for motorbikes that way, that's for sure. Looks like we've got a queue, whatever. No motorcycles or cycles over there. Now it mentions motorbikes and says we must stop, but I don't think we're going to get charged. I think it's freebie.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about motorcycles.
Apart from we have to stop. Well, we don't have to stop after all because he's a very nice man. And he let us straight through. Right, into Devon, up to Dartmoor, and then away we go. So we're back on Dartmoor for a bit of free riding. Temperature is dropping a little bit, and it's nice just to be out in the open countryside again. Been a lot of traffic in the last 20 miles, but now we're out here. Wonderful. Look at that for the view. Wow, it's cold. I will be almost forced to do the vents above my jacket in a minute. I think that red number went slow it down a little bit. All of 3 miles an hour, but hey ho. Might be a sheep with a speed gun. Or a cow, or even maybe more traditionally a pig. So the original plan was to go to Morton Hampstead and to go around a car museum that we came across on the way down. However, lots of coffee, lots of chats with lots of people has resulted in us leaving Cornwall an hour after the museum closed, so there is no point in stopping. And I worked that out all by myself. Oh, do you know what that is?
Looks like a mill to me.
Pardon?
A mill. Or
No, that's Dartmoor Prison.
Oh, is it? Oh, right.
So as the camera is running, I might as well stop and have a look. Yeah, from memory, that's Dartmoor Prison. While we're sitting here, let's just quickly look it up. Think of what's going on in there now. Sadly, along the lines of what was said in that talk last night, there's probably an element of nuts to butts. Quite depressing looking, isn't it? And after a quick look at the prison, off we go. Excellent, more lawn in the middle of the road. Might as well let them know I'm coming, but there's no one there to see. Hop off, my bitch, go, hop off, today.
Gotta get the
Oh,
strap.
for heaven's sake,
Oh.
come on, get off, quicker. Be youthful, look like I've got an 18-year-old bird on the back. That's about as graceful as the camel getting off an elephant. Oh. Oh, dear me.
4 nights sleeping in a camp bed.
Pardon?
4 nights sleeping in a camp
Oh, it's nothing
bed.
to do with it for me, but it's the, it's my backside's gone again. I'm going to have to get another air hawk.
My hips. Oh,
Right, we'll do this. I'm also going to get my layers on.
yeah.
It's going to be 3.5 hours of cool. Are you wanting a coffee before we head off? I'm only asking if you...
I'm alright for coffee, but if you need it.
It did say Costa, but I can't see it. Now, this time, can you get off less like a camel getting off an elephant? I've got the camera on you. Graceful, graceful. No, well, it's not so bad actually. You're getting there slowly. Right then, we are fueled up enough to get us home and to the service station tomorrow. Whenever you're ready, love. So that's not a problem. We are fueled up in terms of food, well, drink. We've had a little bit of a sandwich and a coffee, and we have, I think, about 3 hours to go, and we're off. Not a bad little break, that, really. We had a bloke next to us, or bloke and his wife, who were clearly grandparents, but they were talking to their son and then grandchildren on speakerphone at one end of Costa, basically shouting down it and letting everybody hear both sides of the conversation. There we go. What does that say? 10 o'clock we'll be home. The time now is 10:30. Okay, 2.5 hours. 2 sat navs, both take 2.5 hours. And most of that I'll be able to wind this up to 70 miles an hour. Stick on the old cruise control, which I am about to do at 70 miles an hour when I get there. And away we go. 2.5 hours of gorgeous motorway, but at least there'll be no traffic on it, and we'll make good progress. So I may as well knock off the camera until we get home. Well, I forgot to put the camera on, but we're now home.
2022, the Armchair Adventure Festival, and oh, is it recording? I think it's recording. Anyway, there's Mrs. P standing behind the sign, drawing attention to herself. Not really an attention seeker, but there she is. Hey!